Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Richie from Boston. Today is the 5th. It's December. It's 2024. And depending on what channels you watch, the UFO invasion is happening right now. No, actually, it's not. It's not happening right now. What's happening is there's military drones that are being flown over New Jersey for whatever reason, but they're still military drones. Period. You see what I'm saying? For instance, listen to what Into Thin Air came up with yesterday. This is yesterday. And it really pisses me off. It really does. That Jason A is still putting out. This dude's been around as long as I has, but he's never shown his face. He's never said a word. He doesn't do anything except post the mainstream and get hundreds of thousands of views. He's never been taken down. And at the end of every video, he asks you for Patreon money every time. Let me tell you a secret. I just spent 3 days editing a video for Jailbreak because that's how long it takes. To put news clips together, to make this video takes 15 minutes. I'm not going to ask people for Patreon money, but this scumbag, how many times in this week has he put this exact thing out? It's pissing me off really bad because he's helping them. He's helping feed the fear. I'm looking at the comments and people are like, oh no, they're military drones. Are we being set up? Absolutely. Absolutely and without a doubt. And let me tell you something. Stand by. Let me move my microphone. Let me tell you something. Everybody's been sending me these things about the mystery booms that are happening all over the place. And I couldn't think of what it could possibly be. Let me show you what I'm talking about real quick, because I got a lot to say and I'm pissed off. I'd love to meet Jason A and punch him right in his face. But he's probably a bot or a Chinese operative or CIA. Never said a word, never shown his face, millions of subscribers, never got taken down, and everything he does actually helps perpetuate their agenda. That's why I would like to punch him in the face. Send this to him. Anytime, anywhere, at any rate.
Disturbing video clip, people are hearing and reporting very strange things in Idaho to the point that people are actually concerned about this one content creator. Back on November 14th, I read a news article from KEZJ News, and the title of this article was Southern Idaho Booms, What Are They? These loud booms are resonating through buildings, they are shaking windows, waking people up, animals up, but they're not earthquakes. The USGS are not reporting any earthquakes in these areas. Some people believe that these are either skyquakes or UFOs. Now, I find the UFO angle to be quite interesting because there's actually a Illuminati card, you know, the conspiracy theory card game that I feature quite often on this channel, but there is a card that's titled Flying Saucer. The description of this card reads, this vehicle was found buried in a cornfield in Idaho. It will take a small number of people anywhere in the world undetectably within an hour. Very interesting. We're going to go ahead and hear some of these residents talk about what's currently going on in Idaho. For instance, this one individual on TikTok, Wild Ideas with Brian.
So a couple of months ago, we started hearing these weird booms out here. And we didn't know what it was, and there's not a lot of people that live out here. As you can tell, we're pretty rural. We've got a city back that direction, maybe 30 miles, and another one about 40 miles that way. Started noticing some weird stuff, like out on the desert, I was out there looking for deer, and we found a camp, which isn't unusual, but there was a lot of campers and a lot of vehicles, and none of them were local, and we didn't know who any of the people were, and we couldn't tell why they were even there. It wasn't a hunting camp at all, so we're not sure there. A reporter came out and interviewed a bunch of people from the area, and it was a local news station, and talked about a lot of stuff, posted a report, put it on the news, on the internet. Next day, it's all gone. Can't find any record of it. All been wiped. But us locals, and especially us locals with dogs, you know, we go out at nighttime and all of a sudden we're hearing air traffic at night, and we don't hardly ever hear air traffic ever. But when you take your dog out at night to go tinkle or whatever, you'll hear air traffic every time. Sometimes it sounds like helicopters. Sometimes it sounds like planes that are low. I don't have an answer. I don't know what it is.
These next set of videos come from Aaron Belk, and this is the content creator that people are worried about. They are even comparing him to Andrew Dawson, the other individual who saw that giant in the mountains, then disappeared, and then it came out that he is no longer alive. You're going to see what I'm talking about towards the end of the video, where people are saying to him, blink twice if you're okay.
The watermaster doesn't even know what the booms are.
The watermaster's a pretty smart guy. He usually knows about everything that's going on around here, and he doesn't even know what's going on. This has been happening all over East Idaho in several small towns, especially out in the country where it's quieter. But we've been hearing loud booms, like explosions, specifically at night, over the past 2 months. And it's so loud and so strong that it shakes the windows in the houses and shakes the house a little bit. And it happens 3 to 4 times a week. The local news ran a story and they said it was skyquakes. I've never heard of skyquakes before, but it has been happening in several small towns all through eastern Idaho. Now, they outlawed sonic booms like 40 years ago. So it might be sonic booms, supersonic aircraft, military testing or something. But it's been happening a lot and a lot more frequent. Like sometimes it happens 2 or 3 times in one evening. And typically you hear them best when it's quiet, like after 8 p.m. when the city's quiet, you hear these loud booms. It's not a firework. We don't know what it is, but the news won't talk about it. But there's lots of Facebook groups trying to figure out what it is. And it's happening all throughout eastern Idaho. And it might be happening in other states too. I don't know.
The water master doesn't even know what...
We are not supposed to talk about the booms.
Evidently, there's a lot more booms going around than I first realized. I thought it was just here local to Rigby, Idaho, but it's not. Shortly after posting my video about the booms, I have a law enforcement friend. I'm not going to say if it's state level or county level, but he came over to my house and said, "Hey, Aaron, it'd be a good idea to pull the video you posted about the booms and not talk about it anymore." He didn't tell me if he knew what they were or what they were doing it for, but he says as an agency, they've been told to deny, deflect, and diffuse. So they don't want it to be talked about. Now, I'm not crazy to conspiracy theories, but my officer friend did tell me about a local amateur seismologist that contacted the news and gave him a story about he set up several different seismology detectors around the area, and he was going to run a story on it. And shortly thereafter, before they could actually run the story, he had a heart attack, and he's gone. So that got me thinking that there's something going on with these booms that we're not supposed to know about. So if I stop making videos, guys, you'll know why.
We are not supposed to talk about the booms.
It's come to my attention that the videos I made about the mysterious boom sounds may have caused some unexpected concerns and consequences. I'm making this video to set the record straight and clear up any rumors and misinformation. I was recently contacted by some well-educated scientists who explained the whole boom phenomenon. First, the booms that we are hearing and feeling are not new. In fact, they've been happening for hundreds of years, and they are just part of nature. In fact, there are several natural causes that produce the boom sound. A few of these natural and normal causes are as follows. 1. Skyquakes, which is basically lightning without a flash. As the atmosphere rubs together, it creates molecular tension, which builds up and gets released as a soundburst, or a boom. And 2. Normal lightning. Just because you didn't see the flash, didn't mean it didn't happen. Plus, sound travels slower than light, so you wouldn't see anything by the time you heard it. 3. Small seismic activity. In other words, small earthquakes. Now, the reason these booms seem like they're happening more frequently is because of social media, exaggerating the natural phenomenon. Another reason people actually hear more today than they did before is because society as a whole has become much quieter. 30 years ago, there were no sound restrictions on airplanes or cars, so we're hearing better today, thanks to the government.
Anybody else worried about the guy that's been talking about the booms? I just saw a video that he put out, I think in like the last hour, and he looks scared shitless. He looks like he's reading from a script. The way that he's been recently educated. Who educated that man? Give us their names. We want that education too. It legit feels like somebody told him he had to make that new video and clear things up.
Okay, those booms are happening every place. Every place. I'm not going to run another video because this video will be 30 minutes long. And I just did an hour-and-a-half long video for Jailbreak, so I've been sitting here for 3 days like a jerk. Fortunately, one of my subscribers hooked me up with this hotel. It's not a great one, but it's not a bad one either. But here's the funny thing. Actually, let me tell you the story first. I prayed. I prayed last night. I pray every night. I pray all the time. I prayed to God, hey, I think that these booms are coming from HAARP. Now, everyone says weather modification, everything is HAARP. No, HAARP is a very specific tool, and HAARP can change what the sky looks like because it messes with the ionosphere. Geoengineering, weather manipulation, conjuring up storms, steering a storm 400 miles inland and then 2,000 miles up to dump a hurricane on Asheville, that's Doppler or NEXRAD. We've shown it to you live so you can watch the storms actually being pushed, pulsed, everything else. I asked God last night if they were using HAARP to create an earthquake because remember when I was talking about the New Madrid fault line a couple of weeks ago, and how they were doing all sorts of crazy military drills. The Army Corps of Engineers did 4 drills in 1 year in one location for an earthquake. And then suddenly, I asked God if that's right. If so, give me a sign. Well, I'm right outside of Los Angeles in my buddy's neck of the woods in Upland, California. And there's a tsunami warning for here because a 7.2 just hit off the coast on the other fault line, the San Andreas. Would you say that was an answer from God, or it's just coincidence that not only did I ask him if HAARP was being used to cause earthquakes, which would create those booms in the earth that we suddenly feel now because they've been happening for hundreds of years and they're from skyquakes? Skyquakes? Come on, man. I ain't buying that. That's total bullshit. I ask God for an answer and an earthquake happens within 100 miles of where I am. I'm literally in the tsunami zone. Like, are you kidding me? But that's not the only thing. The FBI is asking for the public's help to find out what all these different drones in New Jersey are. These drones are military drones. So either A, they're using them in conjunction for whatever reason. B, they're going to say it was another country and there was nothing. We can take those drones out, period. If they allowed us to, we could make an EMF type shotgun, like an EMF bazooka. The dudes in Russia were doing it on YouTube for fun years ago. We could take them down. The military could simply sit there and follow them exactly where they go. They got to go someplace, you know what I mean? Because they're allowing this to happen. They're going to do this. You think it's a complete and utter coincidence that Trump, last time he was in office, started the Space Force? And now all of a sudden, as soon as he gets reelected by a landslide, and all of a sudden Christians somehow believe that Trump is on our side, which blows me away. But like Nicholson and others told me, it's strong delusion. And I get it. I get it. Trump is not a Christian. He told you. If you didn't hear it, I don't know what to tell you. Ears to hear, eyes to see. They're setting us up. We're going down. They're taking the country out. But it ain't going to be aliens. Did CERN complete its task during the eclipse? You see how everything is starting to coalesce right now? Everything from this year seems to be coming to a head right now. They're doing this. This is happening right now. But it isn't aliens. Could they have opened the pit? Are those the great mighty men of old trying to force their way back up from their chains? You know what I'm saying? Like the Bible tells us? I don't know, man. But these people like Jason A saying the UFO invasion is happening now. Dude, you put that exact same video out 4 days ago with the exact same title. It was the exact same amount of bullshit. Stop telling people that. But having an earthquake off the coast and then having an earthquake on the other coast, that would all come up to this. Remember this old chestnut? Yeah, what a weird thing. You see the coastline? I'm curious how many drones, or what are actually military airplanes, they're not TR-3Bs, they're not triangular shaped craft, they're airplane shaped craft with 3 lights, okay? Because that's all getting lost in the sauce someplace along the line. I'm wondering if they're softening up the entire East Coast while they're getting ready to do this and this all at the same time. Because apparently those mystery booms have found their way into Utah as well. So there must be water under here or something to that effect. I'm not exactly sure. Nobody's exactly sure, but I'm exactly sure we don't have little green men coming from other planets. Period. 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 That just ain't happening. There's a firmament over us, okay? This is God's footstool. Anything that's coming out is coming through CERN. Why is it that magically hold on. Why is it that NASA has completely and just utterly washed their hands of going to the moon or even pretending they're doing any of that, and they've handed it all over to this dork, this absolute dork whose own nanny caught him doing summoning rituals when he was a child? Do you all remember that?
Procured, and when I was a girl, I was procured and sent to work for a family. There was a boy, the boy's mother, and the boy's grandfather. They were coming from Africa, They were white as me. I thought they'd be black. And because of something the boy did, I never told what he did. The boy did something very dark when he was very little. And then one day I asked someone in the circle, Imelda, Joaquin's mother, I asked Imelda, I said, is he the Antichrist? I was 13 years old. She didn't even blink. She said, no, but he will present the mark. And when you see him do that, the Antichrist will take the stage. So, now here we are, 40 years later. Boom, that boy is the star of the world. The boy's name then was El Elyon. It's changed over time. We're 40 years later. And I see that boy everywhere, and the world adores him, but he's the king of Babylon. When I was a girl, he tried to sacrifice me to his friend. Elon Musk tried to sacrifice me to his friends, and he opened the gateway to the abyss when he was a little boy. And Jesus, those creatures in there, they are subject to Jesus' name.
You said something that caught me right away.
Real quick, pay attention in the back where he has the word Cybertruck. Tell me that doesn't say cyber attack. Just saying.
Said something that caught me right away when we were discussing various issues just before we started.
We got the XAI data center or supercomputer center training from beginning installation to start of training in 19 days, which is the fastest that anyone has ever gotten a supercomputer to train.
And is that in that new building off to the side?
That's in Memphis, actually.
It's in Memphis?
Yeah.
Oh, so that's where you were?
Yeah.
I see.
Memphis,
okay.
The capital of ancient Egypt.
Right. Yeah, you're bringing what?
Perhaps that's where our new God will come from.
Yeah, no kidding.
Perhaps that's where our new God will come from.
So long story longer, everything is in play right now, but it isn't what people are presenting, and I'm getting pissed off watching people that should know better pushing the wrong narrative completely. And I completely forgot to show you this. I'm pissed. When I'm pissed off, my mental faculties don't work too well. But it's crazy. I gotta remind you this. On my grandmother's soul, I prayed to God and said, is HAARP causing these earthquakes? As soon as I wake up, like literally within 100 miles of where I am, there's a 7.2. That's a big earthquake, man. That's serious. And 8.1 is what we used with HAARP to take out Fukushima. Remember that? The earthquake was dead nuts underneath their nuclear reactor? Yeah. But check this out. About the drones, the UFO invasion that's happening now. This is what they are.
The FBI is investigating these mysterious drone sightings in Morris County. Residents say they've been appearing more frequently in recent weeks, and tonight many people want to know exactly.
Okay, you see these lights? It isn't a TR-3B. It's a regular airplane. See it? It's just a small military version. Nobody's allowed to own these except the military. If they wanted to know what these were, they could simply follow them or shoot them out of the sky. Shoot them out of the sky because they are harassing United States citizens in an entire state. But I'll digress.
Where they're coming from.
All right, everyone, welcome back. December 4th, 2024, we have to discuss what's going on in the skies of New Jersey. This insane UFO/drone phenomena taking place is absolutely incredible, and you are not going to believe what I found going on with the military at the exact same time going into New Jersey. I will break this all down for you because it is insane. All right, and to be clear, we've been having sightings all over the world over the last couple weeks. Multiple sightings over major airports. This one here in Manchester. This orb made it into the news very quickly when it was hovering over an airport. Many thought it was a drone. It has not been disproven yet, but a very weird video nonetheless. We also had this very strange video of what looks like 6, maybe 7 orbs all grouped together with a smaller orb up above them, almost like it's controlling it. We couldn't verify exactly what this was, but we could see airplanes crossing the threshold of this video. You'll see one very soon coming in from the left, and it's right about now. I want to say there it is. You can see it on the bottom left. There is an airplane coming into the airport while we're seeing these orbs in the sky above it. Very, very strange. All right, and now I want to talk about this video that came out in New Jersey 2 nights ago, and what I believe is happening here is a little bit of confusion. People are going nuts with their phones pointed to the sky because of this phenomena taking place, and a lot of people, I believe, are confusing UFOs with planes. This looks like a clear-cut airplane to me, but it seems to have made it onto all different media stations. But what's interesting is the second part of this video. They show these girls talking about this airplane right here, calling it a drone or some sort of UFO, which it's clearly not. But this part of the video is more interesting, and then I'm going to get into the military part of what I discovered here. Now, in this part of the video, you can see she's counting out the different drones in the sky. They're here, back in this area. She counts about 7 of these, I want to say. So this is much different than the airplane video she was showing us. This is what people are looking for. Now, with that said, you are not going to believe this. At the same exact time as these sightings last night, a massive escort military operation took place. 3 major military aircraft went out from New Jersey into the Atlantic Ocean. 45 minutes later, they return with a private jet that then peels off right after they get out of international waters and into New Jersey. This private jet peels off and goes right to Washington, D.C. Clearly, this jet was coming from another country across the Atlantic Ocean, and the military went out to pick it up. Now, because these craft came out of New Jersey to meet this private jet, whoever this was clearly a very important person or a very important craft. So my friends, as you can see, these airplanes, once this private jet peels off, this Boeing Globemaster and other military craft continue to circle a large portion of New Jersey for a few hours. Most of the videos you see from last night are within this time period. So what is going on out there? I personally do not believe these are aliens coming from outer space. I think that we have this technology right here on Earth and it's just hidden from us. These may be some secret military ops going on. They could be surveilling parts of New Jersey for some reason that we do not know yet, but something very strange is going on here, and it's involving the military 100%. Otherwise, this escorting operation would not have been taking place while there's massive amounts of drones and quote-unquote UFO sightings in the same exact areas of New Jersey. Now, the more interesting and fun theory is that the fact that maybe the military is going out to escort this important person because there's all these drones and weird things going on in Jersey. Maybe it's possible that this is out of the military's hands and they are trying to protect important assets as they enter the now busy skies of New Jersey. All right, now finally, before we go check out this actual airplane they were escorting, don't forget we had a major sighting in New York City as well with this orb that shot across the Hudson River and was captured on news media camera during a weather forecast. This is also yet to be debunked. It is certainly not a drone. This thing covered way too much ground to be a drone. So it's not just New Jersey, it's a lot of the Northeast as a whole. Now check this out. All right, so here are the 4 planes coming in after the 3 had already left to go pick up this private jet right here. Now, it does not have a call sign, but we do have an image, and you can see right here its registration was 06-0500 United States Military. It's a Gulfstream 5, a very common and expensive private jet, and this is what they came and picked up. Now you can see here this is a Globemaster, a Boeing C-17, and then we also have a Boeing 767 US military, as well as a second Boeing 767 US military. And as they approach the coast of the United States, you can see the plane finally peels off just after it crosses the international waters. And at this moment, things got weird. These are now showing up as drones, including over New Jersey right now. So these were switching back and forth from a drone signature with no call signs to then being registered once you click on it, back to the Boeing, and then back to the Globemaster, as you can see here, already with the Gulfstream having peeled off, heading all the way to Washington, D.C., which right there should tell you that this was a very important piece of cargo or something on the plane, a person on this plane, whatever it was. They were escorted by the U.S. military while the entire state of New Jersey is freaking out over drones, UFOs, and things that look like airplanes. All right, my friends, I know that was a long...
Okay, so military airplanes escorting somebody in and then switching off their call signs and showing up as drones. There it is. There you go. You know what I'm saying? Because if they can fly in the same areas, these mysterious drones that the FBI now wants your help for, the FBI needs you to help them. Well, first of all, drones, UFOs, we don't know what they are. We can't give you any answers at all. You don't call in the FBI. It's not a missing child because they can't find them either. You call in the military. Well, you don't have to call in the military because the military's right here. It is the military. They're setting us up for something really bad, as we thought. And this right here, the drone, the object, of course they have drones that can do that. Because the drones that I have do amazing things. And a video I just made, at the very, very end, a guy has a $200 DJI Mimo or mini drone in his hand. That thing chased him underground like a puppy. We were in a cave. This thing would not lose him. It's $200. So what they have and what we have are two drastically different things. Do not believe the hype. But they are getting ready to do something. I literally prayed to God, is HAARP? Because I gave up on HAARP. HAARP doesn't do many things except cause northern lights in Florida. But when it's doing that, it's messing with the ionosphere. You see what I'm saying? Before they built a HAARP, they built a small thing about the size of a lawnmower to look for gold, oil, and other things. And they discovered that this thing, when it hit certain things underground, it caused an earthquake. It was the size of a lawnmower. Well, HAARP is a tad bit larger than a lawnmower, and there's probably more than one of them, or this can work in conjunction with all the NEXRAD Doppler radars that are everywhere. Because you really think that the government or whomever built those so that we would know the weather for going to work the next day and paying your taxes and coming home and doing what you're told and getting your vaccines and shutting up? I'll tell you what, if there was a drone over my house that was harassing me, you know what I mean? But they're watching and they're going, wow, people are doing nothing. They're posting on social media, period, where they have thousands and thousands and thousands of bots. How many years ago did I show you the YouTube channel for military U.S. Army PSYOPs? And then right after that, my channel disappeared. That's shocking. At any rate, do not believe the hype, but be ready, because they're going to do something. And as a matter of fact, I'd have to say a 7.2 on the San Andreas fault line, that's something. Next thing, we're going to get more earthquakes over by the New Madrid because they've already picked up big time. People are getting quakes over there. They're going to do this. That map I showed you, that's going to be our new reality. Love your family, love God, and love yourself. And don't be afraid. God did not give us the spirit of fear. I say that when I still have it, but I fight it every day. And when you pray and listen, you'll get answered. Richie from Boston, open your Bible. I'm out.